Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Ricks2Cents, along with my fellow co-host, Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Howdy, y'all.
Hello, everyone. See people already in the live. Before we went live, I was telling Steve, thank you, Bamboo Lab. They are sending me my replacement parts. So my Bamboo printer will be up and running soon. I'm very excited about that.
I was talking to Bamboo last week. They're I'm trying to adjust my channel because I've been these reviews are killing me, man. So I just want to focus on like 2 or 3 like top tier products and so like Bamboo, X Tool, I don't know, something on the CNC side, maybe. Well, Genmitsu's not too bad. It's a good mid tier kind of product, but because I've spent all week fighting with a product that is working its way into Kickstarter, and I don't want to do that anymore. It's just too much work.
Yeah, you're kind of a beta tester at that point, right?
Yeah, well, I would be okay if that were the case, but it's way more than that. It's just so. Anyway.
Tim said, "Hello, everyone. What a beautiful evening." And I get it, Steve. I want to start doing more makers and tutorials.
Yeah, well, so I mean, the balance on my channel is all messed up now, right? And
right.
It's the problem is, I mean, I don't know if you've experienced it, but they say some company will say, "Hey, I've got this wonderful product," and you look at it and go, "Yeah, there's some innovation here. I want to talk about this." And they say it's going to be beginning of July. And as it gets closer, they go, "Oh, well, it's going to be September." But meanwhile, you've already committed to something else in September, right? So like my shop, the floor is full of crap that's still in boxes and it's driving me nuts. So I'm just going to do fewer of them. And like, I know if I get something from Bamboo or from X Tool, even if it's not shipping yet, it's probably going to be a production grade unit.
Quality over quantity, right?
Yeah. So, and those are really the tools that people aspire to buy anyway, right? Is like, I mean, if you're going to buy a 3D printer and you're not looking at Bamboo, you're doing something wrong, right? You may not ultimately buy one, but it's like the Snapmaker U1 is really good for the price. Like it's like a baby Bamboo printer. It's quite nice.
The thing that I was surprised with, like Bamboo, is my assumption was going to be because they're so big that they may not have that great customer experience. And I know I'm an influencer, but I'm no Mr. Beast by any means, right? And I was very surprised on how responsive and personal they were. Yeah. They told me like, "Hey, take your time. You have any problems, and you're on the printer before you drop your review, let us know. Anything you need, anything you want, let us know." So I'm like, okay. So I haven't done anything, but I bought that printer, right? And then, but when I had a problem, they just sent me a new part, no problem. And then they asked me, "Hey, we'd love to see some of the ideas some of the items you've created." And I said, "Well, if you've seen TikTok or I've made shorts. I haven't made any full videos, but I've made a ton of shorts." And they said, I said, the heating elements, there's 3 wires. And in one of the print heads, you strip the wires way too far back. And the same plastic that's over the conductors on the wires, you use them as like insulators in between them, and even on the top, and put this big giant glob of black over the top of it to keep it in place. Problem is, as I was using it, and I showed them the hours I have on it, so I've clearly been using, just haven't been sitting. That glob just fell off, and they're like, "Well, do you have any proof?" Well, at first, when it fell off, I didn't realize what it was. So I was taking pictures of my prints, like as they were going along to show progress. And sure enough, you see a little black spot.
Yeah. I saw a few of those too. I think it's just like it's black epoxy or something. And when it gets hot, it's breaking off or something. Hasn't really impacted anything I've been printing. But
if it wasn't stripped and they didn't make the connection and they didn't arc, probably wouldn't do it.
No, mine hasn't arced. But the thing I like about Bamboo, and to a lesser degree X Tool, is when you have a problem, first of all, your printer's probably going to tell you it has a problem, and
Yes.
there will always be a click here to find out more right
Yes.
on screen.
Yes.
And they have videos for everything.
Yep.
Like whatever problem you have, I guarantee there's a video on how to disassemble the machine to replace that thing.
Yeah, like the back fan. I told him, I says, it's starting to go out. All of a sudden I hear, and I'll smack it 2 times, and it's fine. I said, so I know I can probably clean it out, but the bearings.
I got one in an AMS like that right now.
Smack, and all of a sudden it's good. And they're like, we'll just send you a new one. And then they send me tutorials, the Wikipedia links of theirs to the replace stuff.
No, they have complete, and you can buy every single part in the printer right on their store.
Yeah, and that took a lot of time to create the library of tutorials. That's a lot of investment.
Yeah. Well, they've had 4 years, right? They're 4 years old, but
that's not a lot of time.
But so many companies, they have crappy support.
Yeah.
And when you need it, they won't tell you anything, and you can't buy a single part for something unless you buy it from the support people. It's not in their store, right? So, So anyway, that's, I think, one of the reasons why bamboo is bamboo. And
So I showed them the video was the one where I made the "fuck around and find out" sign, and they said that was awesome, and they're gonna go because it was off of their makers. They said they're going to download it and make it themselves for their house too. That was a hilarious site that I made it. I said, okay, cool. But yeah, so I was just, like I said, whenever you recommend anything to anyone, or you say it's just not the product itself using, because at any point in time, there's consumable parts. At any point in time, putting hours and hours, extended hours, something's going to break, right? Nothing's has endless amount of miles, endless amount of hours. So the point is that if and when it does break, they support you, and they don't get in this argument. Well, it's not warranted, or it's like if they think it's legit, they just covered it. And I thought that was great. And within 24 hours after finally having that conversation with them, they're like, in 48 hours you should have it. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So to me, like, we always talk about like buying stuff like factory direct or buying certain things to save costs, but not only just buying a premium product, but buying that support structure like they have in place. That's huge.
Yeah. I think like it's so, we live in a really bent society, right? Where people go, oh, that thing is $5 more than this other thing, so I'm going to buy this other thing. But the first thing you should ask is, why is it more expensive? Yep. Right. And I mean, I looked at bamboo printers a long time before I bit the bullet and said, yeah, instead of $1,000, I'm going to spend $3,000.
Yeah.
But I have absolutely no regrets. I mean, the thing runs all the time. And I mean, it works all the time and it runs all the time with no troubles at all. Right. And, the old saying, you get what you pay for, but you learn to appreciate it. Certainly when it's running, but also when it's not running, right? When you need
not to sound like a bamboo infomercial here, because we're both, tooting the horn. Obviously, it's not a sponsored video by them by any means. Yeah. But I mean, even at some point, if you kind of like made fun of me and said, "Why'd you have to get the Pro?" And like, why did you do that? But I just wanted it, and I have no regrets.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely even more expensive, but. Yeah, it's I mean, honestly, if another printer came along, I don't care whose name is on it. If it's better than the H2D and H2C that I have now, I would buy it.
Yeah,
it's got nothing to do with bamboo. It's got to do with the printer experience, and support is there for sure. So if somebody comes along with better support, hey, I'm in.
Yeah, and the AMS is definitely amazing. And again, not necessarily just bamboo, because I had that Sunlu AMS. It's basically an AMS Pro that you could use, and I'm using it purely as a filament dryer. But it's only $99 versus hundreds, from these other models.
Yeah.
And that's a game changer. Just having rolls at hand that are already dried. That makes a big difference, because you see the difference in the print. Where it's already, not saying the AMS Pro can't start to dry it, but just opening it out of box versus having one ready to go, it's a big difference.
And that honestly would be the one single complaint I have with the Snap Maker, right? There's no, like the spools sit on the side of the printer, right? And they're open. They're in open air. They do have a kind of a half-baked enclosure for that now, but it's not quite the same. But at the same time, it's an $800 printer versus a $3,000 or $4,000 printer, right? So, but yeah, I mean, I like the print quality. In fact, I have some right here. My
yeah.
nice
Actually,
little...
when you showed that, let me take my stuff off the camera. Do it again. Do it again.
I know Santa has exactly the same one because he has a snap maker too now.
No, when you showed that, I think it was on our Facebook group. I don't remember when I saw it the first time, but
Yeah.
that red, I liked that red.
It's a nice red, yeah. I did post. I think I posted it on ShopTalkLive. The strawberry I printed on the hay gears.
Yeah,
I posted that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. But red is hard to find. Like that's a nice red. I like that red.
Yeah, it's kind of a...
I like that red.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen that exact red before. It's usually deeper than that.
Yeah. Tony said, Cleveland, Ohio in the house. Hello, Tony. Thank you for checking. Santa's Living Grave said, thought I would pop in early and say hello, eating dinner with mom at Outback. Not the one Chris Gallagher lives at. This one evening, I'll be back later. Thank you for checking in. We'll see you back in a few. Tell mama we said hello.
Yeah, I miss Outback. We used to have quite a few of them here, and they just pulled out. Like they just disappeared.
So big thank you to Santa's Lavers Engraving. I posted on Facebook that Ricky wants a robot. If anyone doesn't know who Ricky is, it's my son. And he's obsessed with robots and teaching responsibility. I make him do chores and things like that to save his own money. And we saved all our aluminum cans and we scrapped them. And I said, we take all the cans and we scrap them. Whatever we get, we can go towards your robot. And about 12:30 at night, when he's supposed to be long in bed asleep, he walks in my room and he says, Dad, I'm just wondering, how much do you think we're gonna get for these cans? And I said, two things. Why are you awake? And three, I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like, it's 12:30 at night. Why are you awake? So he says, oh, okay, I'm going to bed. 1 o'clock in the morning, he walks back in my room and he has a little piece of paper. He wrote Ricky and then put an arrow and he wrote Rick. And he drew a dollar bill. And he took Scotch tape and he taped all the money he had to that thing. And he says, well, if we don't get enough, I'm going to pitch in, Dad. And he gave that to me. Talk about a proud father.
I saw online somewhere, I saw a little kit you could get that was to assemble just a little rudimentary robot.
Yeah.
If I find it again.
Soldering. I mean, he's 6 years old. You know what I mean? Soldering. I mean, it's amazing. So Santa's Labor Engraving saw that Facebook post, and he said, tell Ricky I sent him a small donation towards his robot build. That was phenomenal.
Nice.
That teared me up. That was cool. That was just cool. But yeah, so I just had to say
he is Santa after all.
No, that was amazing though.
Good gesture. Yeah. Pay it forward.
Yes. David said, don't overlook South Milwaukee. South Milwaukee. Never been there.
Could you?
TCC 1940. Hello from Chicago. Man, I don't know about you, man, but I got in Oswego, I got this brutal hit with rain. As I was telling Steve that my basement's flooded, so I'm still dealing with that, but very crazy.
We're actually here. We've been a little dry. Actually, we could use some rain.
Oh no, everything was like 8 inches within the last 2 days. That's a lot of rain.
Clayton's in the house. He says hello, aloha from Hawaii.
Smash the like button. Clayton, brother, we haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for stopping in.
It was a couple of weeks ago there for
yeah. You know what? I'm sure it's tourist season in Hawaii, so you're really, really busy. But I'd love to see you post some new stuff on our Shop Talk Facebook group. I'm always amazed at the stuff that you create. It's very cool. Let's see. Everyone's saying hello to Clayton. See
Clayton, you've been missed.
Yeah, see, it was like 7 comments in the heads. Hello, Clayton. Hello, Clayton. Hello, Clayton. McPhil 3D. Hello from South Carolina. Hello. South Carolina's in the building. All right, Steve, you're up.
Tony says, can't asking me if I can't give them a time frame. Who's this? And we got to go back.
I think he's talking about because the reviews, how it comes way
Oh,
different.
yeah. Well, so I mean, at the end of the day, I just say like, hey, you know, you know, and I had a bit of a to do the other day because after a long delay solving some hardware or software problems on something, they said to me, okay, so can you have the review? This was yesterday. Can you have the review done by the end of the week? It's like, I haven't even started the thing because I haven't had a device that's working. So no. So, I mean, I push back quite a bit. It just messes up the schedule though, because you're trying to schedule things in so that you can work a project video in, and the first time something goes bad, project video goes out the window, right?
So a company with a very nice robot lawnmower, high end, want to know if I could do the video by the 17th, and if I could go to Maryland. And I'm like, why Maryland? Oh, that's because that's where they're at, and they want you to come. I'm like, what are we in 1994? Like, we have Teams meets. Like, you want to talk about something? Like,
yeah,
hence our podcast. Like, like, what is it? Is it like a demonstration or like?
I did get some Emotion sent me their latest and greatest mower, and it's been sitting on my floor in my shop, fully charged, ready to go for a month. But I did tell them when they sent it to me, I probably wouldn't get to it until July. So
yeah,
actually, I think I probably got it at the end of May. But
Jack in the Shop said one of the feed motors on my U1 was grinding and dragging. I sent an email about it. I got a tracking number today. They just sent
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so. Snapmaker went through this transition, right, where they were making like the old Snapmaker made these versatile multi-tool devices, and they're okay, but they are not nearly as impressive as the Snapmaker U1. And I think, I don't know, maybe they got a new CEO or new support people or something, but they just did a complete night and day transition.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. An old saying, you can screw me once, you can burn someone once, right? They're going to tell a million people.
Yeah.
You do right by someone, they may tell 2 people, right? So if they do right by you, what they will get, besides maybe you not bragging everyone, is a repeat customer. And that's the kind of customer.
Yeah, or they recommend you to somebody else, right?
Right. So
yeah, no, this is good.
Jack in the Shop said, I did a FOFA sign on the CNC for a friend to put outside. Yeah, that was awesome. The fact that Bamboo Lab said phenomenal, love the print. I'm gonna make one for myself for my own home. That was kind of good. That made me laugh a little. So that was cool. Yeah. And the thing is too is like we say about 3D printers is the nice thing about having a community, a maker's place. What do they call that? I forget the name of that app. I have it on my computer. One where all this stuff where you can download all their stuff.
Yeah, Maker World.
That Maker World, to literally open the printer, download something, print within 5 seconds, with having zero experience or knowledge about any kind of 3D files. Hit the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because you can find what you want. You can select your printer from the list at the top and just hit the download button, and it opens up the slicer and puts the thing in there, right?
No problems.
And all you really have to do is push the print button.
So as we always say, every review you can't push the easy button. That is probably the only product I would say that you are pushing the easy button. There's no real complications. Like, it could be complicated. You can make things complicated. You can make very complicated prints. But what I'm saying is, to get started, it's not complicated.
Yeah, the learning curve is pretty short. And I think this was the big innovation for Bamboo, right? I mean, their print quality is great, but I think they focused a lot on ecosystem rather than device. And this is what Xtool is doing too, right? They don't sell lasers, they sell experience.
Right. We said, I hope you spelled it right. Let me see if I can find a picture and I'll share it. Jack said, yeah, that too. Jack said you want find out if you don't fool. LOL. I messed up again. We got what you meant. Oh, you want to take this one and see if I can find this picture really quick?
Jim says, I have Lightburn 2.0.05 now. I should update to the latest download. I had problems with the previous downloads from them. Yeah, I still haven't updated Lightburn. I only really have one printer that uses Lightburn now.
I haven't upgraded to the last upgrade I did is when they made that you can mix the filaments to make the colors.
Well, not with Lightburn, but with
with that software, and then Lightburn. I didn't do the update so you could do the CN sleeves with it or whatever. I didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, I mean, this gets back to my whenever I did that video about the diode laser companies are dying, and people argued with me. But hey, have you seen a new diode laser pop up this year?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
And I think as I've been kind of looking at the market. Yeah, there you go. As I've been kind of looking at the market, and I know we've talked about this, but I see multi-tool lasers coming.
Yeah.
Like unplug this diode laser module and plug in a CO2 module, and unplug that and plug in a fiber module. Like I can see it coming. Probably within the next couple months, you'll probably start to see products announced.
I don't know necessarily what's creating that innovation, but I think there's definitely some copycat thing going on, right? So if one starts doing the other ones, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What was the initial push in that direction? But if it starts getting successful,
I mean, you saw it with, I guess it was XL Laser with their flying Galvo, like a Galvo on a gantry. And I think that probably inspired a few companies to start thinking about this. So that's my projection for the industry anyway, is that you're going to start to see these interchangeable tools on a single laser carriage. And it could even be like a proper CNC, not little things like Carveras, for example. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're nice, but they're small, right? And I'm thinking there'll be industrial grade things doing this.
J3D said, hello from Iowa. In my backyard, brother. I'm in the Chicagoland area, so we are close. Prism Prince said, hello. Oh, here you go, Steve. You can take this one.
Jack in the shop says, I just did a video on the Anthbot M5 mower. I don't know that one.
So here's my 2 cents on the mowers. If you need a wire, don't buy it. It's gotta be able to use some type of GPS system, right? What kind? Get down. I don't care. It's got to be able to use some type of GPS system. The wire, don't even bother. Is it fast? No.
No.
It's super slow. But the thing is, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, I used to cut my lawn in, I don't know, an hour and a half, but I'd have to do it twice a week. So figure 3 hours. My mower takes 3 days to cut all my lawn, but who gives a shit, right? Like,
who cares?
I don't even think about it. Like I programmed it once and it does its thing, and it's pretty autonomous.
So he doesn't live there. My ex neighbor, I should say, he's like 80 something years old in his late 80s, and to help him out, the mow not only cut my front lawn, but it cut about 3/4 of his lawn, and then I take your traction, I cut the rest. But again, like I said, who cares? And you know what? I'm big on stripes, and a lot of people don't care about that. But I was really not sure if these robots would be able to make stripes, and they do, especially because they're so low to the ground. They have no choice but to kind of flap or push the grass down. Yeah. They're not a 60-inch deck, so they're making these huge stripes, but they are very distinctive stripes. So if you crosshatch, and you can get pretty creative on the design and the way it turns it, it
I
shows up.
actually set my mower to pick a random angle every time it cuts, so I don't get paths beat into the lawn.
Right.
So there's times when it cuts at these really strange angles, like 13 degrees.
Yeah.
But the next time it cuts, and it's always different, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah. And then,
but the important thing is, which is the only reason I would even review a mower on my channel, it saves time, which is time I don't have to be on my tractor, so I can be in my shop, either making money or just, designing something, doing whatever, right? So
So how much money what could you be doing more productive in creating an income source versus doing something that's, just labor intensive?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's really a business tool, even though it cuts grass, right? But what it allows me to do is 3 hours of work a week that can make money.
And the thing to me is that, like, they're still in, I would say, the infant stages. They're still the commercial levels of those aren't there yet. I think they're getting there, but I think that's where it's going to become insane. Like, airports, things like that.
The local airport here has them roaming around all over the place. Golf courses.
Yeah.
Like there's golf courses that have like 40 of these things, and they all start out at 6 o'clock in the morning, or they can cut overnight, right? Because they don't need daylight. They're all geolocated. So
in the
so they can cut the grass at night.
Chicago near the O'Hare Airport, they fired the landscapers and they have a sheep herder now. Sheep and goats. They just move the sheep and goats around.
Yep. Because a sheep will cut the grass like a golf green, right? Like they mow it right down, and they fertilize at the same time.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. Uber first said hello all, hello. Thank you for checking in. Appreciate everyone checking in. Let us know where you're joining us from. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. You want to take this one, Steve?
This is the dad joke. Nothing starts with an N and ends with a G. Yes, it does.
Dun. We'll stay away from that one before we get banned. Jack in the Shop said, if you update Liper and install the new version into a different folder, so you can go back to the one easier, roll back.
Yeah. Well, on a Mac, you can just have multiple versions of the same application, so you don't need to do this. But in Windows, this is the best way to do it.
Jack said, cheap mower. Cheap, no mower. Yeah.
No wire mower. Yeah, I mean, the price of them is coming down for sure.
Yeah. I would just like it if they had like a 3-4 blade, like that would be awesome. Like, because someone like me, like realistically, if I no longer wanted to cut my grass, I probably need 6 or 7 of those smaller ones, and that would just be, when you do the math, how much they cost, then you'd be questioning.
Well, so I have the long range motion mower, so it can cut 2 acres or something. 3 acres, I think, is the maximum. Now, it's not going to do it in one charge, that's for sure. But
right.
But it'll cut it.
Right. But so if you wanted to cut your lawn twice a week, then you got to do the math on how long the battery would last and how many you'd need to be able to do completely.
Yeah. Well, my mower cuts the grass. It cuts grass every day.
Oh.
I have 3 zones, and I cut each zone every 3rd day.
Okay. There you go.
So it's just always cutting every day. It goes out at 7 or 6, 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, and it starts cutting grass, and it'll cut all day. On my backyard is fairly big, so it works a 9 to 5 day that when it's cutting the backyard.
There you go. Mine just yelled at me yesterday. I need to change the blade, so we'll see.
Yeah, I've changed mine a couple of times. I've sharpened them too.
I was thinking, I was looking at the Husky has this utility blade with the break off blades.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it and I was like, this pretty much looks like that. I was thinking I could just drill a hole in it and just.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'd do that.
I don't know. I was thinking about it. The way because, the thing is with me then, if that was the case, if I could get, 500 blades for $12, I might change those blades every week.
Yeah. I changed mine Well, I either, because on a motion you can cut and then you can turn the blade around, because you can cut with the other side of the blade, like both sides are sharpened.
Right, right.
So you can get 2 of those, and then I'll sharpen them once before I throw them away. So I can get a whole summer out of a set of blades.
I changed mine. I didn't even think about what you just said, Steve, about flipping them, because they are sharpened both sides.
Yeah,
it didn't even dawn on me to try that.
So the first step is to flip them over.
I just completely replaced them because they look pretty beat up. Sticks.
One side should still be sharp.
Yeah. I'll try that next time. Oh, I missed this one. He says his can do stripes and diamonds. That's cool.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, the motion one you can cut. You can do a crosshatch, right?
Yeah.
I don't bother.
I do crosshatch. I bought the Big Leagues striper for my John Deere zero turn. Man, that thing is awesome. It's basically looks like, I don't know, 40 tires that would belong on a regular push mower that are weighted. It probably weighs like 60 pounds. So as you're driving, it's just literally rolling these wheels behind you.
Yeah. Flattens
the grass down. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So Jim raises an interesting question here about multi-tool lasers. Says over the past year, most influencers poo-pooed the lasers that had more than one type of laser head. Do you think what's coming out in the near future will solve that? Yeah, or they're going to fail is the short answer. So it's gonna take like an X tool or maybe an Atom Stack to do this. But look at what Atom Stack is doing now, right? Atom Stack is making CO2 lasers now.
Speaking of Atom Stack, I'll post in the Facebook group. I don't know if they sent it to you, Steve. They sent me like coupon codes and shit. They were like $300 off, $400 off.
Yeah, I get those.
It was pretty big. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't always post those things. So, I mean, the general message is if you're thinking of buying something, reach out, shoot me an email, and if I don't have a code, I can probably get you one.
Yeah, I couldn't. It was like $300 or $400 off. It was like a good amount of models. It was like a little spreadsheet they sent out. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, this is the time of year, right? Because it's pretty quiet in the summer.
So I won't retract my statement when I made a statement to pretty much what he's saying. Is I said, in my opinion, in most cases, not saying all, anytime you buy a multi-tool of anything, just in general, whatever it is, it's not the best of all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And I've agreed with that in the past, but I think they're about to figure this out.
I said in general, right? I'm not saying there can't be case scenarios where they met the mark on all, but in general.
I mean, I think the premise here is more like a Dremel tool, for example, right? Where all you're changing is the thing on the end. You're not changing the motor, the whole experience.
Yeah, that I agree.
Right? And I think that's the piece that's always been missing. And I'm pretty sure that companies are going to start doing this.
So a solid base foundation with an interchangeable part.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Quick change type tools.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, they're all the same, right? They're all basically fundamentally lasers. It's not like you have a CNC or a 3D printer and you're going to put a laser in it. Right? That's two fairly diverse tools. But I think you'll see laser companies, because they can't honestly flog a diode laser by itself anymore. And for a lot of people, a galvo laser up front is too expensive. But hey, if they started with a diode laser, but then they knew they could just interchange, say, a fiber laser in there, they would probably buy that platform.
Yeah. Jack in the Shop said, I picked up on July 2nd for $550. I guess it was on sale because today I looked, it was $900. Yeah.
That's a good sale.
Yeah. Good day from down under.
Hey, Chris.
I just got some new hair clippers today, so if you notice my little fro going on, I will be able to cut my hair nice again after today.
I had this past couple of weeks, I've had a guy from Australia follow me on Instagram. And I went and looked him up, and I guess he's a retired rugby player, professional rugby player. And I thought, like,
Okay.
what the hell is a rugby guy doing signing up to my channel? But I got into a conversation with him. He shot me a message, and he's actually starting a business now.
Okay.
And I guess I don't know, he must have been a pretty good rugby player, because he's built like a tank. It's like, he's like terrifying. I wouldn't want to meet him if he was having a bad day. But he wants to start a business, and he was asking about UV printers. Cool.
Radui has a dad joke here. He said, why is it you donate a kidney? People love you. But if you donate 5 kidneys, they call the police. That's funny. You want to take this?
Chris says those coders are usually the end of the model. Oh, those codes are usually the end of the model. So expect a possible new version soon.
Could be.
Yeah.
It could be. It was a decent amount. I'll post it in the Facebook group. It's not like it was an affiliate link for me to get anything. It was literally just discount codes. So, yeah, go for it.
Well, so they definitely do this when the model's starting to come to the end of life. But in the summertime, and yes, Chris, it's summer here right now. They tend to put sales on because everybody just wants to be outside enjoying life in the summer. They're not thinking about anything technology-wise, right?
So $400-500, even $300. That's a lot. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time people get discount codes. It's basically saving you the tax, right? When you do the math. So yeah, they covered the tax, but a couple $100, it's pretty decent to me. Seems decent. Chris, I don't remember off the bat what they were. Like I said, after the live, I'll go dig through the email and I'll just post the whole list that they gave out. Anyone's looking for those lasers. I didn't look at the models. I just looked at the dollar amounts, and they were all hundreds off. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Chris is asking me who the rugby player was. Just shoot me an email, Chris, and I'll tell you. I don't want to talk about it here, but
all right.
But it was interesting that somebody found a completely different walk of life. Like I wouldn't think of a rugby player as a guy who wants to buy a UV printer, but he has a good idea. I talked a bit about his business with him, and
just like I shared in the past, it was a while ago, about the lawyer emailing me, and that was around the time that all these YouTubers were getting sued. And I was like, I don't want to open this email. It's a question. I was like, oh wow. He obviously was not doing it to create a source of income. It was just a hobby of his, and he enjoyed. So it's cool. It's a good evening from Bass Lake, Indiana,
or Bass
Lake, Indiana. I'm sorry, Bass Lake, Indiana. So, what was he? Where did you live before? It was something to do with fishing, but it wasn't Bass Lake. He moved. He just moved because his house burnt down. Actually, how's everything going, man? Are you getting settled? Hopefully everything's well. And still sorry about your loss. Oh, I got surprises. Hey, guys. With all this craziness that's going on right now with that crazy climate changing, insurance is just like going through the roof, right? And even in some states like California and Florida, like Allstate and State Farm are not even accepting customers. They're actually dropping them. So my insurance went up. I paid like $600 something a month to $1,200 was $1,300. And I called them today and said, hey, man, I've been with you since I was 14 years old. Like, we need to work on this or I got to leave. I cannot afford $1,300 a month in car insurance. This is nuts.
That's just your car insurance?
Yeah.
Man, I think my car insurance is about $50 a month, $48 a month.
Wow. Yeah. So just complaining, they dropped my bill to $400. So I'm bringing this up because, look, we're talking about side hustles, making money, saving money all along. You have this insurance. We call it in case shit, right? You pay this insurance. You've had that same exact insurance agent for the last 20 years. When's the last time you called and say, can you lower my bill? I just saved hundreds of dollars, Maybe something you might think about.
I do that all the time with like my cell phone and my internet, because they run these deals, right? And they say, oh, for 6 months it'll be practically free, and then we're going to charge you through the nose. And you call them after the 6 months, and you say, I don't like that price, I'm going to go somewhere else. And they go, okay, we'll continue your sale price for another 6 months. And you sit on the phone with them for half an hour. They try and wear you down, but
but it ain't happened.
But I'm retired. I got all the time in the world.
Yeah, Rick said Fish Lake, Indiana. Yeah, so from Bass Lake to Fish Lake. Very cool. Yeah, so if anyone's in the lab, go ahead.
This week I met a luthier. Do you know what a luthier is?
No, what is that?
It's a guy who fixes stringed instruments. So I had so my father in his youth played violin, and he was quite good at it. So he had a really nice violin. And when he left his farm and moved to an apartment, he got rid of this. So I got it, and it needs work because the thing is 80 years old. He hasn't really played it for a long time. And so I met this guy, and I showed him the thing. It needs a bunch of work, restoration. And he said, I just sent him photos first because he lives, or his shop is half an hour from me. So I thought, I'll just shoot you some photos first. And he said, it looks like it'll cost maybe $500-$600 to restore it, which I thought was great. And he said, you might get that out of it when you sell it. I said, hang on. I said, now I'm worried about like I'm talking to him. I said, now I'm worried about your capabilities. He said, why? I said, well, this violin is like a 1949, I forget the name of it. And I said, I checked it out. This thing's probably worth $5,000 when it's restored. He went, oh, it's one of those. Roth. It's a Roth violin. And he said, yeah. He said, bring it in. We'll have a look at it. So I was in his shop there this week talking to him. That's a whole nother skill of woodworking that I'm just not familiar with. Yeah. And he had like these big bass violins lying on their sides, and it had a couple of those, and violins hanging everywhere. It was kind of a cool shop to go into. So
specialty work.
But I was telling him what I do, and he said I could actually probably use your business sometimes, because he gets, like, this violin that I have is made in 1949, right? So there are any part that you want to replace on this thing has to be custom made. And he said, I get a lot of this kind of thing because he deals with a lot of people who play professionally, and their violins are worth tens of thousands of dollars, right? And he said, but if they ever need something, you can't get it, so you have to make it.
Right.
So, and I said, well, I can do engraving and all that kind of stuff too. He said, yeah, I get a lot of call for that sort of thing. So, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, and what do we always say? Like, it's all about the niche, right? At the end of the day, if you did someone's name and a little inscription on a piece of wood,
yeah,
and whatever you would charge, you did that same exact engraving on someone's inside of the guitar or on violin, the sentimental value, because it's a specialty gift, all of a sudden that is 10 times the price.
Yeah, the culture shock I had was, like, if you go into my shop, there isn't a tool in my shop that doesn't plug into the wall or run on a battery. I have every power tool known to man and every piece of technology there is. And then I go into his shop and there isn't a power tool anywhere, right? Everything is hand, like, he makes instruments too.
So
right?
You said he's a real woodworker.
Yeah, yes. I don't think anybody would argue that a bunch of wood carving tools are woodworking tools.
Right.
Because you hold them in your hand. And he showed me some of the instruments he made, and they're all made by hand, and they look amazing. The finish on them is like glass, it's just crazy. Yeah, so it was the culture shock for me. It's like so far away from where I am on things. Right? Like, for me, if I have to pick up a power tool, then there's something wrong. Like, or if I have to pick up a manual tool,
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, those are skills to have, and more dying art, right? Those people like that are in the next decade may not exist.
Yeah, well, this guy trained in Europe he's been doing this for 25 years, and it is like, I'm looking at this instrument in this ratty old case going, this thing, he's going to tell me to throw it out. And he's like, no, this thing is great. And he had another one on the bench that looked very similar to it. And I looked at it and went, well, are you restoring this one too? He said, no, that one's brand new. They come pre-aged.
Oh, wow.
Because people don't want one that's super shiny, right? They want one that looks like it's been used.
A little tarnished. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
I said, mine's in better shape than that one. He said, yeah, yours is in great shape.
That's hilarious. Yeah, they want the vintage look. They don't want to look like it just came from a guitar store. Here you go. Chris said, I took my grandfather's watch to be cleaned. Told it would be worth $3,000 to $4,000 with the engraving on it. Added 2 to 2.5. Usually engraved decreased value. Yeah, engraving could decrease value. I took my gold chain to a jeweler because the clasp went bad, and when I got it back, it felt a little lighter. And I questioned, like, is this my chain? And when I touched the links, they actually felt sharp. And I said, what did you do to my chain? And they said, oh, we flattened it and then we buffed it. And I said, I didn't ask you to flatten my chain. There was nothing wrong with my chain. It laid flat, right? But if you think about this, is the way how gold is expensive. If they took off a few grams, they could have put a couple $100 in their pocket by shaving my chain. And it was actually became so sharp that it wore in a groove in the charm because it rubbing on the links. And I had to actually put it on the buffer that we use for the coins to make the chain not so sharp, because when the links on the edges were like sharp like a blade. But not every jeweler is.
So you're convinced that these guys sharpened your chain just to rip you off 2 grams or a gram of gold?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's probably less than a gram, but
yeah, I don't get it.
They just
I get if you're like I know when you're having a Cuban link made, right? They tell you they weigh it and then they actually shave it to give it like this look, and then so that when it's wearing on you, the links lay flat. But my chain laid flat. Didn't need to be repaired, just needed a clasp. So they definitely shaved it. It's crazy. Yeah, not everyone's honest these days, right? You got to be careful. But let us know, guys, if you have any questions. Actually, I have questions for you guys. I was going to post a poll in the Facebook group, and I think I still will. But I was just curious, what type of thing would you like us to continue to do? We're on, what is this? What is this? The 124th live?
124.
124th live. What type of things would you like to see us do more of? I would assume everyone loves the giveaways. A couple times we did have some manufacturers. Would you guys like to see some manufacturers on the live? The only problem I think that we had with some of the manufacturers on the live is most of those manufacturers are not stateside, so there could be some language barrier issues. But we did work through that. People were very polite. And obviously there were time zone issues. Like, most of the people that are on our lives was a 13-hour difference. They're in China still making our live. Giveaways, those are good. And we also started doing random surprise or inviting random guests, because at the end of the day, most of you watching this live are makers just the same as we are, whether you're coming for advice or just a camaraderie. You have information that you can share as well. So I'm just curious, what kind of things would you like us to continue to do? Or what something we've done in the past that you like to see do more of us? Just putting it out there for you guys.
Zentenro already has one. Get Faux Hammer on again. Oh, I can talk to Ross and get him on if you want, if we can convince him to stay up till 2 a.m. I talk to him quite often, actually, since he came on the channel, so on the live stream. So we've kind of gotten to know each other. I could get him to come back on.
McPhil said, I like the guests. Okay. Let us know. TCC 1940 said, marketing, which is my biggest problem. Okay. I have a friend. Her name is V. She owns a marketing company, and she helps company do marketing, like any kind of company you can imagine, from like a taco stand to a shoe store to exactly what we do because she owns those type of businesses as well, the apparel industry, things like that. She builds websites, does mail marketings, like all different kinds of stuff. That would be a good guest to kind of maybe start giving some marketing advice. I may talk to her and see if she'd be interested in joining. I'm sure she would. Anything else you guys would like us to do we haven't done in the past, or something we have done in the past and you'd like us to do more of?
Yeah,
I'd love
I've been doing a regular business video every now and again, just my experiences in business, and I just haven't had time. I got a bunch. I got a backlog of things I want to talk about, but it's, again, my reviews are killing me, so I'm gonna fix that problem first.
So I like seeing other YouTubers as well. Yeah, we do have.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, I'd say we have some regulars, and then we did have some randoms. Like I'd say, I'll say it one time where he'll show up. Clack has definitely made numerous appearances on Shop Talk Live.
Yeah, he may not be on tonight because he's in Minnesota there too. With,
I don't know. I don't believe it. We all know you say his name 3 times. I don't care where he's at. He shows up. He's the Beetlejuice. He's not wearing black and white. He's wearing orange. But 3 times he shows up. He shows up. Rich from the Louisiana Hobby Guy. He's definitely. Roger hasn't been on our live in a while. I'm not sure when that'll come back or if that will, but and Skylar, Skylar's phenomenal. She's still an admin on the Shop Talk Live Facebook group. She's definitely a regular fill-in for Steve and I on the Shop Talk. Just with kids in summer, and she may not be able to commit every single week. Matter of fact, this whole month when I sent Steve the links, I just said, "Hey, Skylar, any week you want to jump on, if you choose to, just go ahead." Right. Steve and I love her, so we're good with that.
Great.
TTC's 1940 said B2B.
Jim wants some B2B. And these are topics that we all have to endure, right?
Yeah.
And no matter what, you got to learn some things the hard way. But I've done a lot of business to business stuff. That's most of my business is working with other businesses. So I have a few videos planned for that too. So
the only thing that I would say, there's good and bad of business to business, right? Business to businesses, you establish these, like I would say, in my business to business is mostly apparel. So I know this plumbing company, I know this roofing company. This plumbing company, I know before end of year, it's almost as if they look at their taxes, right? And he's like, I got to spend some money, right? And at the end of the day, he'd rather reinvest it into his company than just give it to Uncle Sam, right?
Yeah.
So he'll call me and say, "Hey, I need $700 worth of shirts." What does that give me? I don't know, but I want $700 worth of shirts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a bit different, right?
But what I'm saying is that is something that every year, that time of year, it's always getting business from that customer, right? Yeah. Always. And then I know a roofing company that, in the summer months, they're just going to destroy their shirts. But every time they show up to a customer's house, they want that shirt to look new. They never want to have an old shirt ripped, torn, look bad, because that's their image, right? They don't have much. They have a hammer and their shirt. So they are the image of their business, right? So that company is going to constantly, probably once a month, buy shirts from me. But am I making as much money off that roofing company as if I was just to sell Steve one shirt? No. But that's kind of money that you can start depending on coming on a regular basis. And that customer will grow with you, right? So those orders will grow. And a lot of times when you started with them from day one, good luck. Someone couldn't steal that customer from you, even if they have better prices, because you gave them that break when they needed it. You grew with them, and that loyalty remains.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's different in the U.S. or maybe Chicago because it's mobland, but most of the business people I work with, we've just had a long-standing relationship, right? Like,
yep.
They'll come on occasion and hang out in the shop, and we talk about stuff, and I get to hear what their problems are, right? And then I can say, oh, I can solve that problem for you by doing this.
Yep.
Right? And then the answer will be, okay, make me 100 of those, and I'll come back for 100 every 6 months.
Yeah.
And so it's that support
Well, it's like that solar
architecture.
company you were talking about making those signs, or
Yeah,
electrical
well, that's
companies.
one of the people that I've been working with him for, I don't know, 5-6 years.
Right. So,
And
but
every year he comes back in the spring and says, I'm going to need this many of
right,
each of these kinds of signs, and I make him boxes full of these things. And what he likes, the reason he keeps coming back is because every once in a while on a job he may have to have a custom one, and he doesn't know until like the day before the job is supposed to be finished, right? So he'll call me up and say, I need this one. Yeah, okay, mate, no problem. I'll sometimes I'll go to where he's working and I'll drop it off to him.
because he's a regular.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right. So you built that rapport, you built that relation with the customer, and that's also one of the kind of things I'm saying. Like, someone couldn't steal that, because no one's going to do what you just did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've gotten to understand his business,
right,
and in some cases the urgency of his business,
right,
because sometimes, I mean, these jobs all get inspected by government inspectors, right? And he'll know, well, the guy wants me to have this sign and he's going to be back tomorrow to check it. Yeah, okay, I'll do one for you right now.
Yep.
Right. And
so
it's not, I mean, when I make one of those, it's like, yeah, I might make a couple of bucks on it, literally, but he knows I'll do it, right? And then the next time he orders something, he'll order like 300 of something. So it's no real effort for me, and it makes him happy, and I get to know his business. So
yeah. So at the end of the day, every job's not going to be hand over fist. The point is that you're building a long-term relationship with someone.
Yeah.
And more than likely that customer will grow and your orders will grow. And the orders may expand. Like you're saying, Steve, you may got in with one particular item, and as he realizes the different items you can make, or she makes, it grows and grows and grows. So just something I would say is for marketing, business to business. If you're doing door-to-door sales, kind of pink, like your pavement to the ground, so to speak, man, you got to have a little bit of a callus, because you're going to have probably more doors slam your face and say yes. But I would say that any business to business sale is going to be very valuable, because it's going to be a long-term business.
Yeah. So I'm just finishing up a video now. It's probably tomorrow. It might be out. It's about just projects you can make, projects that I made that made money unexpectedly, right? Some of them are simple, some of them aren't. But in there, I talk a bit about why business customers buy things, right? They don't buy products. They buy answers to or solutions to their problems. Yep. And the success of business to business, interactions is you need to understand what their problems are.
Yeah. We also had, I forget the name of the company. He's a big distributor in the laser engraving blanks. But he also does laser engraving and everything as well. And I think that was good, because if you are marketing, basically know what sells, right? You're not going to try to sell something to someone, try to sell something to someone and give them wishful, warm feelings that you're going to be able to sell this when you know that you couldn't. So if you were very successful at creating it, likelihood is that somebody else could be as well. And you're almost testing the market for your market, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool that somebody would, have that ability. And then it's also an advantage to them, obviously, because if they're a distributor or a seller, obviously their cost price is way lower than a competitor, right? Because at the end of the day, that competitor is probably buying it from another distributor, and they are buying it direct or in big quantities. So and that was another thing that we talked about too, with the filament. Where everyone's always saying, what filament are we using? And I found a local person who was here that's selling their own filament. I think the only reason they're selling at the price they are is because the quantity that they're printing at, and the quantity of filament that they need, if they sell it at that price, they can get it at such a discount price that their cost is probably next to nothing, right? Yeah. I think it's like what do you say? How do you call that, Steve? A loss leader? I think selling their filament is a loss leader. What's doing is it's bringing their filament down cost of pennies on a dollar, and then their prints are becoming way more profitable than the average Joe. So, but definitely something we could get into. And maybe if anyone who's in the live or someone who recommend maybe we could even as a guest to go over some business to business advice. I'd appreciate it. Prism Prince said Clack would be a great guest. Clack, clack, clack. Well, let's see if he
I'm
keeps
telling
up
you, man. He's probably out for dinner with Ventari tonight. So
let's see if he's good. Let's see if he sticks good at his name. See if Clack appears. All right, Steve, you're up.
Tim says, Steve, if your shop is so crowded, I have an empty shop right next door. Yeah, don't be careful what you offer there. If you offer transportation, maybe. Yeah,
Tim said Flux
Hammer is fun.
Yeah. Uber said I met Clack just the other day at Minnesota Makers Meetup. Great guy. Yeah. People were asking who was going to actually go. Chris said any of guys from Lasers Everything.
Yeah, any of the Laser Everything guys. Yeah,
there's 4 of them. Yeah. I forget one of the guys' names. I was talking to him quite a bit when I first got my Mopa laser because he did a lot of tutorials. Yeah, let's see if they'd be interested. Yeah, they're pretty cool guys.
Yeah.
Tony said Clack is back by now. Wife had to work. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Prism Print says business is about relationships. Yeah, money only comes secondary. This is absolutely true. Like I said, you realize what their problem is. You understand their business to understand that problem. And rather than trying to sell them, and I know Jim is in the cold call business, so it's hard for him, right? Because he has to go convince some restaurant or a bar, hey, you need some glasses. And they look at a wall full of them already, right? So it's hard for them. But what I've noticed is once you build that relationship, they don't care about the money, right? They care about knowing that there's somebody there who understands them and can solve their problems.
It's not going to cut corners, and the qualities will be consistent because you sold them on something the next week's not different. That's great.
Yeah, because I mean, I've had lately, of course, with crazy inflation, I've had that difficult conversation of, hey, that thing you paid $2 a sign for last year is now $3 a sign. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, the material cost went up, right? I can't help that.
And it's sad that these some companies will literally are going out of business because they're afraid to do that. And I think that we're at the point now in our economy that we understand that as prices slightly go up, that you're not price gouging your customers, because as a person, as a human being, you know that everything in your regular day-to-day went up as well, right? So as a business owner, when you turn the lights on and everything that comes along with that as you walk into your business, they know just besides of that cost is up as well. So don't be afraid to raise your price. I'm not saying don't outprice your customer, but don't start taking big hits, assuming you're going to lose a customer. Just be honest with them and make an approach to them and say, hey, like Steve said, and if you've built that rapport with them, I don't think you're going to lose them.
I told them why it was going up, right? It wasn't like, oh, I just feel like charging you more. It was the price of material went up 50%.
Right.
So now I have to pass that on to you. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I said, when the price comes down, I'll bring my price down again.
And see, that's cool that you even offered that, because most people, once they accepted those terms, they're willing to pay that. They'll never come down. You left an open door.
See, I don't work that way.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's why the customer will stay with you.
But I think and sometimes I'll find a cheaper source for some material, and I'll call them up and say, hey, I found a cheaper source. So the price I quoted you is actually higher than what I'm going to charge you at the end. And they're like, this is fantastic, right? So
question, have you guys seen these cups? They're 100% made out of wood, and on the inside they're charred, and people are drinking whiskey out of them. I've never seen them before until recently. And someone said
they're made out of aluminum?
No, 100% made out of wood.
Oh,
a solid piece of wood that they carved and made a cup out of it. but then the inside of the cup, they burn it, they char it.
Yeah, it's what they do to like oak barrels for whiskey, right? They torch them.
Right. And then people are just drinking at them. So someone said to me, "Hey Rick, can you this golf country club, can you make these for the golf country club? We want this logo on it. And then can you make these cigar ashtrays? We want the country club logo on it." And everything was about their country club. And I was really honest with them. I said, "Look, I get really worried when I see something on Amazon that says wood because you don't really know the quality of that wood." And I said, "So let's start off like this. Whatever you want, you're going to have to pay one extra because it's going to be sacrificial, right? Once we get the settings dialed in, we take that one sacrificial piece. Or if I tell you like this cup's a piece of crap, it ain't going to work. Let's try a different one. We can go from there." And like, no problem. That's fine. That's cool. But again, just being honest with them. And it's because I honestly sometimes I almost refuse to take blanks from someone because if you damage it, doesn't come out well, whatever, it's your fault. You can't get another one, right? So the fact was,
it's always something you've never seen before, too, right?
Right. So so it's cool. So I guess I'll be doing some work for a country club. And they found me online just because stuff I was posting. So that's very cool. Big Sarge, hello. Greeting from Maine. Hello. Chris said, "I get a few questions at the end of your tax season. It's my busy. I'm sorry. I get quite a few end of tax year orders. It's my busiest time, May and June." Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good time to be alive, right? When you're in business, because you've got people who have to spend money.
Yeah. So
it's good. I'm glad that they'd rather spend it and churn the economy a little bit than pay some tax and give it to the government and lose it in a black hole.
Yep. Tim said our slow time used to be spring, but since we took on trophies, spring is our busiest season with the schools, graduation, and summer sports starting up. Yeah. Very cool. Alex said, "Hello from Alaska." Hello. God's country. The last part of the United States that's still country. Very nice. Chris said, "I do a few dart club trophies. Great thing is there are 2 trophy seasons a year. They have a summer and a winter competition." Yes, well, that's cool. And again, they like what you do. Someone could steal that customer if they try. You know what I mean? And maybe they'd start giving you the freedom to come up with something new, so it's not the same every year. Alex, have either of you used wood dyes rather than stains or paint? My dad suggested it. I used Unicorn Spit. I don't know if you've ever heard of that brand, but it's like a dye for wood.
Yeah. And it's like an ink, right? It's like India ink.
It's like a stain.
It's not black.
It's crazy colors like pink, purple, green, orange. Like crazy colors you'd want to make wood. It's expensive. You obviously would not do something I'd say accent pieces, not large pieces. But crazy colors you couldn't probably get in a stain or a paint. So they're dyeing woods. But Unicorn Spit I use. I like it a lot. It's just pricey, so that would definitely be an accent color, not a something solid painting. Tim said those cups you're talking about are available everywhere. Order a few extra for testing is a must. Yeah, that's what I said. They were buying them on Amazon, and I guess it's a Roger moment. The people at the country club were just taking them home. So they said, "Hey, we want, they're going to put their name on it." So that's cool.
Yeah, you got to be careful on Amazon because whatever you're buying is coming from China. It could be acacia. It could be, some crazy wood that becomes toxic when you take the stain.
That's exactly what I told. That's exactly what I told. I said, let's start with a very small order. Anything on Amazon, I'm very cautious when it says wood.
Yeah, because if it's a
What is
country
this
club,
wood?
start with one, give it to your oldest member. If he doesn't die, then give it to, then make a bunch more.
Exactly. Prince and Prince said, where are those stickers? Are you understanding my business? Yes. I say this. Yeah, man. Sorry, I've just been crazy. I was telling Steve.
See, now I feel like I've empowered him.
I told Steve this month, if this month was called Murphy's Law, that's what it would be. So if you guys didn't hear, I went to Disney World. While in Disney World, the luggage holder slid, hit the rental car, busted out the window. Came home, bought my daughter a brand new car because she graduated high honors. Got accepted into college for a full scholarship for academics. She totaled the car, like 400 miles on it. Graduation party for her birthday / graduation. Pump goes bad on the pool, so $3,000 later we got a new pump. My wife ties the dog to our sub pump, and the dog takes off and rips it off the wall. My wife just pushes the pipe back together, and we get 8 inches of rain, and our basement floods. So I said, "Whoa." Beer meat.
I'm trying to wonder what occasion you would have to tie a dog to a sump pump.
Because she just saw a pipe, and she's like, I'm going to tie the dog to it. You know what I mean? Okay. So my basement's disaster right now. I cannot make anything out of wood. I got a couple orders I'm backlogged on the funeral stuff, but the sticker department is going to be open, so I'll get that up and running. And I still do have everyone's email requests, and I'll start doing those out. And I'll be making some for Steve and I and ShopTalkLive, and we'll give those away on the lives. Mail those out to people. Alex said, I use it and I like it. Oh, the unicorn
spit.
Yeah, very cool. Like I said, unique colors, things you'd probably not see. Just kind of a little pricey.
Stains in general are expensive, right?
Yeah. But like I said, if someone's asking for unique colors and cool things, and they have like every color in the sun you can imagine, it's cool. Yeah, but kind of spendy. Yeah, exactly. Tony said, "Is that a what is that?
Aniline dye?
I don't know. I've even seen people use dye that you dye denim jeans with.
Yeah,
the stained wood.
Yeah, as long as you're going to put a finish over it,
right?
It's fine.
Right. Because I think that dye, since it's for denim jeans, the way that it's made, it kind of absorbs into the wood, kind of the way like fabric would. It doesn't fuzz it out,
right? So,
yeah, but it doesn't like fuzz out the wood. Like it kind of like absorbs more than, create that. But yeah. Alex said, any new lasers are you guys looking at or using?
Oh, I'm trying to think what's coming. So I do have a laser coming in August. I can't talk about yet. I have the iCure Master sitting on the floor. I have to finish that review. I've got like 4 reviews in flight right now. And I just, whenever I run into a problem, I just move to the next one and I work on it for a day.
My port supposedly said they're sending me a laser, and then I don't know when that's going to happen.
I actually, and I'm surprised they're not nagging me. I have a ComMarker CO2 Galvo, their new CO2 Galvo laser, which I put up on my laser counter, and it's actually back just on this side, and I plugged it in, turned it on, and went, yeah, it lights up, and that was as far as I got. So that one's coming, but it's probably going to be September now before I get to it.
Yeah, so in that I just have that small enclosure laser. You did the review already on it. I didn't do it.
The Pixie?
Yeah.
No, I didn't do the review.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you did it already. Well, I have the same thing.
I got frustrated with it, and I told them I wasn't doing it.
So they asked me if I was having problems, and I said, and it was funny. It was like right after a live we talked about it. I was almost thinking like, did they see the live and that's why they mentioned it, or they just maybe you said something to them. I don't know, but
Well,
it was just funny.
I was a little less than polite with them.
Okay,
See, this was one of the things where I did the first Pixie, and it was great. And then I did this one, and I had nothing but problems. And I just said, okay, I can't. I don't have time. Like I can't be delayed.
Yeah.
So it's sitting in a box on my floor, and I probably won't get back to it.
Yeah, they asked you if I was having problems, and it was right after we had talked about you were having problems with it. So I'm in.
Yeah, and I mean, I think fundamentally the laser is like a reasonably good laser for an entry-level laser, but I don't know why I had problems with mine, and I didn't have time to figure it out.
Yeah, that was me with the Oturo, my first Oturo, when it was locked down and wouldn't even move and blah, blah, blah. And that's how I met Roger. Roger was like, oh, type this command in there that they have the emergency brakes on. What?
Oh, yeah, the full
Why
stop.
would you ship out a laser that way? That's so stupid. A couple other things that was just goofy with it. And after I typed those commands, it was perfect. And I was like, why didn't their support just tell me this? I'm like, it's doing nothing. Like, what? I'm like, nothing. Like, I can't even manually, it's locked. Like, I was surprised they didn't know that, but I didn't do the review. I was just so frustrated that I actually gave it away. It worked after that. But the point is that they just made me so mad. I was like, forget it. Santa's Live Engraving said, driving home for a good dinner and just listening on the way home. Thanks for joining, brother. Appreciate you. I don't know if you heard while you were eating dinner with your ma. I gave you a shout out and a thank you for blessing Ricky with some robot funds money. That was very nice and kind of you.
I did have a Chinese robot company try and get me to look at one of their products.
Tell them to send it to Ricky.
No, this thing was like an industrial robot.
Oh, okay.
You know, like a Boston Dynamics, you know, the thing that looks like a big dog?
Okay.
It was one of those, and you could mount things on its back. And I said, I'm showing all the details, the marketing stuff to my wife, and she was like, no. I said, what do you mean no? Look at it. It looks fantastic. She said, no. I said, it could patrol the perimeter and keep the undesirables out of the yard. No.
Yeah, we're at Monster.
It was just a little too creepy for her.
We're at Monster Jam, the monster truck races, and they had some kind of robot dog, like almost a full-size dog.
Yeah.
And then when we got home a little while later, we started seeing advertisements for it, and it was a pretty pricey robot.
Yeah, well, the Boston Dynamics one is kind of the limousine of those.
Yeah.
But this one, I mean, it looks clearly like a knockoff or a similar design anyway. But they're used by like the army in China and in industry.
All the bomb technicians and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got like crazy attachments you can put on it.
Yeah.
And like a fire extinguisher, you can mount a fire extinguisher and you can send it into a fire and it'll spray, you know.
That's cool.
Yeah. I was looking for the flamethrower, but
the opposite effect. Alex said those are the type I was talking about. A lot of guitar makers use the Allied die. Yeah, it's a specialty die probably. Chris said Santa's Laser Engraving does have sleigh on all-terrain treads to skid through the summer. No, if you've never seen his Jeep is fully decked out.
Yeah, it's got like a YJ, right?
It's fully. You don't remember what it looks like, Steve? He shared it with us on live.
Yeah, no, I've seen it on. He posts every once in a while a picture where he's got it in the background.
Yeah, so it's cool. Yeah, he's rolling with his little ducks and his dash and his Jeep, Santa style. You want to take this one?
Roy MC. Carving a business sign using color core HDPE plastic. Anyone have an idea on gluing a two-sided sign together with HPDE. I don't know.
That's all I've used in my CNC.
Some kinds of epoxy might glue it, but it's pretty much designed to have nothing stick to it. That's the problem.
So, an idea that I have is those, and when you make a banner, it has those almost like a rivet.
Yeah, the metal rings. Rings, yeah.
Because they have to mount it at some point, right? So you can make smaller holes, and that's what it'll be hung on, but it would also fasten the two together.
Yeah, but this is like gluing.
But why would you have to glue it?
Two pieces together, right?
Because I'm assuming you're going to have to hang it. Because why are you doing both sides? Right.
Well, you could just put it on a signpost. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, the problem is that it's that kind of plastic that's designed to have nothing stick to it.
Right. That's all I pretty much have used my CNC for, to be honest.
I should try some and see if I can UV print on it. I got a feeling the UV print won't stick to it. Yeah. Like people keep asking me about printing silicone watch bands with UV printer, and it's like, no, can't do it. And they ask about a specific model usually, right? Can the Eufy Make E1 print on a watch band? Can the X201 print on a watch band? No. And they go, well, that's a terrible model. I'm going to buy something else. No, you need to understand, nothing can print on a watch band. A silicone watch band is designed to have nothing stick to it.
Right, the flexibility, all that, the cleanliness, the way it's made.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, there's Skylar.
You want to take this one, see?
Skylar says, I use a lot of aniline dyes. Love the fact that it comes in powdered form and can mix as much as I need and no more. I have water-based and oil-based. Oil-based are better for my needs. So she knows what alanine dye is.
So again, as we say this time and time again with Skylar, that is a difference between a woodworker and an artist.
And me.
We're both in that department, Steve.
Yeah.
Skylar is very creative. So of course you had tips on that.
When I work with wood, I use paint.
Or stain. There you go.
Sometimes stain.
And my creative aspect is unicorn stain.
Oh, Skylar says she's got the Com Marker CO2 as well. This is the new Cox one. Going to unbox it next week. Had it for 2 months now. Yeah, I kind of feel bad because I like Com Marker. I try to respond to their stuff pretty quickly, but I've just been tied up. I'm glad to see I'm not the only one, but I feel sorry for Com Marker for both of us being, loafers.
Yes, he sounds like Engraving said yes. It's called the Jeep Wrangler. His
it's a
his winter lead. Central said, I don't know of anything that stick to HDPE.
Yeah, I don't think anything will stick to it.
I think that's
like if you want to make a two-sided sign and have like a different color on each side, drill holes in it and bolt it together, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
that's why I said
it needs mechanical connection because I don't think you can glue it.
Yeah, that's why I said about those grommets. I think the grommets may be a good thing. If you're hanging from a sign, it's going to swing and you're wanting to see both sides. And it would have a nice brass type finish or a stainless steel finish. It would look intentional. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Rivets.
Yeah, rivets. Problem with rivets is it might be, unless it's like half inch, the rivets might be too strong. They'll just kind of damage it. Rivets. You want to take this one?
Yeah, I guess I should. So Skylar says Algo Laser sent her a laser 2 years ago, and as she was pulling it out of the box, screws were falling out, and she never reviewed it. I mean, for a while there, I had a big pile of things I was never going to review. Like they sent me, and I said, "Look, I can review this, but it's not going to be good for you. I'm going to throw it in the pile." And usually they'll say, "Okay."
Yeah.
And people have said to me in the past, like, well, you never say anything terrible, like really bad about a product. And it's like, yeah, because if it's really bad, why would I waste my time and your time reviewing it? Right?
Yeah. Chris said Tremintra is the glue guru. Yeah. Prison Prince is saying same thing with me, like with the banners.
Yeah, grommets or rivets or something.
Yeah, I think your grommets is going to be the best bet.
You might be able to find an industrial epoxy that glues it together, but I have my doubts. Maybe you could just heat it and press it together and bond it.
I just think a mechanical, physical connection, something that's bonding them together, is going to be better for a sign that's probably going to be outside, especially if it's exposed to the elements. Any type of glue or fastening something that's not like forced to stay together at some point may come apart.
I mean, if you could heat it enough to, like, both sides to bond it, to, like, press it together, so it becomes essentially one piece of plastic. But the problem with that plastic is it's used for hot plates and things, right? Because nothing really melts it very well. So it's got a high melting point.
Yeah, they make cutting boards out of stuff.
Yeah, cutting boards. Yeah,
exactly. You can put a hot can on it; it doesn't do anything to it. Yeah.
So it's like it's a nice material to CNC, but it's hard to do anything with after the fact.
Like they got all done with 1/4 inch, but I thought it looked kind of, I don't know, it looked cheap to me if you were to make it a sign. So the 1/2 inch.
I would use acrylic if I was making a sign, but
right. Yeah, so but a 1/2 inch to me looked a little more beefier. So that's what I went with, 1/2 inch. Chris said someone needs to come up with a specialty glue for HDPE or silicone.
Yeah. I mean, there probably are industrial glues, like silicone especially, because it does get bonded somehow.
Right.
But I know of nothing that you can buy off the shelf that'll stick to it.
I mean, think about it this way. Almost everyone's radiator in their car is made of aluminum and plastic. And somehow they glue those together. 25 years later, they don't come apart. But chances are, can you just walk in a Walmart and buy some type of bonding material like that? Probably not, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool concept. So if anyone is aware of something, let us know, because apparently there's enough interest that people would buy it.
Skylar says epoxy doesn't stick to it. I there's a million different kinds of epoxy though. So like I think consumer grade epoxy, you're not going to find anything to stick to it.
Yeah.
She uses that stuff as blocks to hold wood down into epoxy. Yeah. That's the nice thing about it.
There you go. Chris said 3D print some clips to hold the HDPE together.
Yeah.
There you go. Like
CNC a slot on each side and just slide a 3D printed clip on it.
Yeah, it looked like a license plate frame kind of deal.
Yeah.
Right. Big Sart says sometimes there are glues that require chemical attachment first. Yeah, kind of like CA glue. It needs the reaction from the.
But CA glue wouldn't stick that. CA is brittle, right? So it has pull apart strength is really good, but shear strength not so much.
Yeah. Plus, I'm not sure how well CA glue would do.
Yeah, it wouldn't
being outside all day, every day.
Yeah. No, they do make outdoor like for external use CA glues, but again, they're not consumer grade usually.
Right. So if anyone is aware of how to attach those two together, that'd be great. And definitely thank you for
silicone. I would bet my rent that you don't find anything to stick that together.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Thank you for some input on upcoming ideas. Definitely reach out to some of our fellow YouTubers. And if you're in the audience and you'd like to join us, let us know.
Yeah.
Shoot Steve or I a message. We'll get you hooked up. So it's always a good time. And for the first time, if you guys talk to Clack, you can give him a hard time. He said clack, 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 or I said clack, clack, clack 3 times, and he didn't show. That is the first time in history of Shop Talk Live.
Yeah.
He's been a fan
from our road trip. He's probably
He's
at
been a
Arby's.
loyal fan since day one, as we are to him. Jack in the shop said, "Woo woo." You want to take this one?
Big Sarge says, I solved my PP filament problem. Yeah, he mentioned he was trying to do polypropylene stuff last week. He's not going to tell us how he solved it, but he solved it.
Oh, there you go. Chris said silicone is usually welded, not glued.
Yes. Yeah, and again, the welding temperature is probably like welding stainless steel or something, because silicone is also designed not to burn.
Yeah, some crazy
Like every once in a while when I'm doing a silicone mold or something, if you get a bit of a soft spot in it, you can take a torch to it and just soften and cure it forcibly. And like you put a torch on a piece of plastic and it's just going to turn into goo.
Apparently the other day in the live, when people realized what that rack was for the DTF prints, a fair amount of people actually bought them. I got a couple messages saying, "Hey, thanks, this is great."
Nice.
Again, it's just a grade school paint drying rack, but sometimes something that's made something, you repurpose it for your own usage. Works great. I love it. All right.
Oh, there you go.
Beans.
It required a custom. Big Sarge says he required a custom top feeder that replaced the top glass to hold the heat in to allow direct feed from the print head. Yeah, it's one of those filaments that needs. I guess you probably heated the cabinet too, right? If you got a bamboo.
So to me, modifying my printer for one particular filament is not something I would do unless I had enough sales that particular machine became a dedicated machine for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of these filaments have evolved since some of these printers were made, right? So,
right.
There's hard, some of these filaments are harder to print. It's this push from industrial filaments down into the home market. Like that's where PA6 came from, and PCTG, PTCG, whatever. My dyslexia is bad, but these are all coming from the industry side, and most hobby printers aren't really capable of handling them. But bamboo is really bridging the gap between consumer and professionals. So
one filament that I've been seeing a lot of, and I keep thinking it'd be cool, but I just see it definitely gonna be problematic, is this filament that's basically soap. So it's soap. So if you printed something for a kid, like a dog or whatever, it's a bar soap. Some decorative for the shower, some flowers or something, and they come in all different colors. And I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe one of those things I just tried for $16. If it sucks, I'll just throw it right in the trash. For a video. Hey, don't buy this. That's it.
I would wonder what something like that would do to the inside of your 3D printer.
Print head? Yeah. Yeah.
Like do you have goo on the inside that just doesn't come out anymore?
Yeah, that would be bad. That'd be bad.
I would try it on a cheap printer first.
So I'll try as long as you provide the printer, right? But if it did work, I think that'd be so cool. Has anyone tried this soap filament? Let me know.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, and it's a couple different manufacturers that make it.
Is this something that you can only buy at Michael's or something?
No, I see it advertised all over Facebook. When you click on one thing and then all of a sudden Facebook starts flooding you with type advertisements, I think that's what happened to me. San Jose Engraving said, I had to laugh at myself the other day. Got the CNC assembled and realized I don't want a dust boot. So he had to run his tool that way. Yeah, dust boots definitely come in handy.
Yeah.
I ordered like 3 dust boots until I decided on the dust boot I wanted.
It's interesting that he bought a tramming tool. You can make one of those pretty quickly.
I guess it all depends on how much you paid for it, right? Sometimes it's like Amazon is
Sure.
just makes it click it, screw it, see it tomorrow.
I mean, I just pulled an old 1/4-inch end mill out of my scrap bin and made my own tramming tool.
Big Star said, "Sorry, I thought there was a character limit." I think maybe he didn't finish his sentence. No, you can type away. Great Skills Anonymous said, "Hey guys, just got in from Memphis. Hope everyone's doing great."
Just got in from Memphis. Sounds like the opening line of a song.
By the way, I hope everyone had a great 4th of July. Steve, unfortunately, doesn't want to become one of our states, so he was still celebrating.
The 4th of July was just another day to me, but the 1st of July, that was a big day, which was last Wednesday.
Yeah, so those of you who may know, my wife's Canadian, so I choose to give Steve a hard time at times because it's the other half of my household here as well. So on Canadian Day, all my kids were decked out. Ricky was in his Canadian shirt, and my wife's in her Canadian shirt. So
waving their little red and white flags.
Yeah, she wanted to put a Canadian flag underneath our American flag flying on her flagpole, and I said no. And she's like, "Why?" I says, "I just don't need drama. Right now, there's just too much political drama, and same reason there's not a Mexican flag hang underneath the American flag."
Maybe you should just hang 2 or 3 of them there.
Yeah, nice.
You can have people driving by and they can decide which one they want to hate.
Yeah, exactly. Or start on fire. Skylar said, "Small screws from behind." Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna need context for that comment.
I think that was.
That's the flat, laminating the HPDE together.
Yeah. Tony said, get a glass plastic welder. I've used those in the past, but mind you, it was a Harbor Freight plastic welder kit. It wasn't exactly some.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on the plastic too. Like I said, HPDE is pretty much designed to be flame proof, right? Like it's hard to work with from a
destructive proof
assembly,
be, right? I think your best bet's going to be the grommets, or you go rustic kind of look, and you kind of have like a bolt, kind of fasteners,
or get a small screw from behind.
But then, if you're going to see both sides, to me, it just looks.
Just went right over your head, right?
Yeah, no, I got it. Just keep going. I keep going. Sounds like Grant said, "Don't have a dust boot."
He didn't get the dust boot. Yeah, one thing you definitely need on a CNC is some kind of dust collection. It's not really dust; it's little chips, but like it's not going to blow around for the most part. But it does make a lot of wood chips.
So with that plastic, it does make a lot of mess.
Yeah, well, sure, plastic for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, especially because it's just like ripping through it, like.
Yeah, the problem with mixing materials like that, like my dust collector, my bin is full of like actual wood dust, so that I can take it and dump it out in like a garden or something, right, and have it.
Yeah, see, I can't do it.
Yeah. But if you start putting plastic and stuff in it, then it gets messed up, right?
Yeah. See, so for that same exact dust collector, the big one I got from Harbor Freight, it's connected to my chop saw and to my table saw, right? But it's also connected to my CNC. But before the CNC was a thing, right, all my dust was only wood. And now I haven't even used it really for wood at all. It's all been that plastic.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't do a lot of plastic for any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I bought full 4x8 sheets of that plastic. So I was trying to.
I mean, if I'm gonna work with plastic, I'll probably use a CO2 laser or something. But
yeah, I thought it was cool. I liked making those signs. So
yeah, I mean that's what it's good for sure.
Yeah. Chris said, since you can 3D print both sides, dust boot and tamming too. Yeah, I just think you definitely need a dust boot.
Yeah.
So now, do you want it fed in the front or the rear? Depends on kind of what's your liking.
Yeah, I mean, a tramming tool is actually really just something simple, right? Like you could 3D design something really quickly with a hole through the side and run a straight shaft through it, like a piece of metal rod, and print something out on the end to hold a bit or a point of some sort, and then you've got a tramming tool. You just stick it in the chuck of your CNC and turn it around.
Jack in the Shop says, Santa, you could have 3D printed a tram bar and used 2 bits for the pins.
Yeah. That's what I do. I mean, I don't even think I 3D printed it. I just epoxied a round disc into an old 1/4-inch end mill and put it in my chuck.
Steve, you want to take this question?
Trade Skiller Anonymous says, I've started poking around with Onshape after using Fusion for a few years to design 3D prints. Any strong preference out there between the two? I've looked at Onshape. It's probably easier to come up to speed on for the kinds of things that most of us do with 3D design. But I looked at, I almost bought it because it's sold like by a monthly or annual subscription, right? Because I get annoyed every year when I have to renew my Fusion license because it's expensive. But Fusion just does a lot more things, and every once in a while I need like a stress analysis or something. So that's why I still use Fusion. But I do hate the fact that it costs so much money.
Yeah. Jack in the Shop said, I did a video on making a dust boot in Fusion 360. Share the video, brother. Share the video. Drop it in the Facebook group. If you made it this far in the live and you're not already a member of our Facebook group, and it looks like most of the names I pretty know are regulars, but if you are not a regular, it's first time joining, I would highly suggest that you join our Facebook group. You go to ShopTalkLive.club. That is not a website. It's just an auto forward, so it brings you to our Facebook group. Being very transparent and honest, this is not my page. It's not Steve's page. The reason that I'm saying this, it's Shop Talk's live page. So you know that I and Steve are influencers, makers, all the above. And if you are the same, you are not stepping on any of our toes by sharing your content, sharing your items for sale, etc., etc., etc. We actually encourage it. So that was the reason I made that long-winded comment, because I want you to say, oh, I don't want to post this video because it's a YouTube video to review. That's what they do. Or I don't want to post this video something for sale because no, post it, share it.
Yeah, it's definitely not my page, because if it was, it would probably be completely screwed up. I don't have time to look at it most of the time.
And I also suggest people share fails. And the reason I say that, and Steve and I once in a while will save some of our fails so that in a random podcast, we bring out these fails and show them, because as a YouTuber, as an influencer, you see all these polished products and you don't see what fail.
And I will say, if you do go and subscribe to that group, you'll get to see the evolution of Skylar's CNC. Well, her woodworking from awesome but labor-intensive hand carving to see some of the cutting boards she's making now. There's one with like a bunch of fleur-de-lis in it.
And the crosses. Yeah, she is. She's a beast, man.
Did you ask Skylar last week when she was on how she's liking CNC?
Dude, I was,
because there's like things here that they're hard to do for people with CNCs, and she's doing them.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I saw she was doing
by hand.
Yeah, the one thing she was doing, and I said something right away, was that when she was doing the inlay, almost everyone that I saw with a big giant CNC, they were sticking that on they're ripping it with a saw, right, cutting that off.
Yeah.
And she was flattening with the CNC. Yeah. And I know that's very well possible, but I saw everyone just standing up, cutting with the bandsaw, then going back and.
Yeah, the problem is if you don't have a big enough bandsaw, like, because you got to turn that board on its side, right? So you're looking at
it could be big, yes.
You may not be able to even fit the thing in there.
No, so that was
cool. The CNC will take that off pretty quickly.
Right, but what the point of me bringing it up was that just another way she's being creative, thinking outside the box, and she's still going
Yeah.
to do something. Like she doesn't have to follow suit what everyone else is doing.
See, I would have to use a CNC because I don't have a
Yeah,
bandsaw.
she's gonna. I don't have a bandsaw either.
Someday I'll get one. But
You know, I wanted a bandsaw, but it was to me it was like a bandsaw or a drill press, and the drill press to me was more useful because a lot of my challenge coins I either make them for necklaces or I make them for keychains and have a jig and just be able to throw them in and pull them out, throw them out. When you made 100 coins, that drill press was worth its weight in gold to me, you know. So I went with the drill press. Let's see. Sin's Living Great said Chris and Jack printing out other things coming up show. It's just easy to buy it right now. That's what I was saying. That's what I said to Steve. Like you look at Amazon, it's $13 and it's gonna be your bar and monitor. Like screw it, it's done. It's perfect, exactly the way it is. It's made from the machine. Yes, I'm fully capable of doing it. Did I cheat? Maybe. Even like the my Onefinity. My only complaint, my only legit complaint, my only dislike is cable management. Like it's just like just out of box what they give you, just not really neat. And I'm like, maybe that's just I'm like retentive comes with wiring and stuff like that because I'm in the trades to do that for a living.
Is your spindle liquid cooled? It is, right?
Yes.
So where do you run the hoses?
Oh, I have a whole kit that it runs back. It's all clipped into the. So
yeah, because I reprinted a 3D printed the mount on the left hand side, sorry, on the gantry, and then I got a really wide drag chain, so I can run all the wires and both of the water tubes.
So I have these clips that actually go onto the drag chain.
Yeah, I've seen those clips. I looked at those before when I did mine, and I thought, I don't like them sticking out there, so I wanted them in the drag chain. So far, so I mean, that's what I did.
I saw the drag chain. I thought it was definitely a cool idea, but I was worried about having to send something back and forth 3 times because I got the wrong size, not width, not long enough.
Yeah.
It was easier that.
Well, I just whipped up. I had to change the mount on the cable mount on the left hand side of the gantry because it wasn't big enough to hold the drag chain. But that was the only thing.
Yeah, and so I ordered off Etsy, and now everything looks the cable management just great. And even on my table, if you look at my table on the CNC, I just have a small hole. You'll see the lines go down.
Yeah.
And then on my table is like 6 inches or 4 or 5 inches longer than it needs to be, because on the back side I have all my cables, and then that big controller box is mounted on the inside under my table. Everything.
That's what I've done.
I didn't want just wires hanging all over the place. As a matter of fact, that was one of the things we were talking with Skylar, and she was like, "What the hell, man? Like, this looks crappy." Like she's making this amazing work, and she turns the camera on. It looks like spaghetti-ness of wires underneath.
Yeah. See,
how do you clean this up?
Well, I cleaned it up by putting a bigger drag chain on, and now there's no wires anywhere, right? So.
Yeah. So that's what I told her.
Yeah, it was a worthy upgrade.
Yes. 100%.
Because you're either going to have hoses hanging around, or you're going to have like tubing, or you're going to have wires. And I have nothing. Mine's really clean. So
just to me is like, why isn't that an option? Like if you showed that, if that was an actual option when you bought that CNC, I'm like, hey, I don't know very many people that would not say no.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be an option. They can just put the drag chain on there.
There you go. Even better.
Because there's no, I forget what it looked like out of the box. There was no drag chain at all, right?
There is one. It's just not as wide.
Oh, it was skinny. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
But then you had to run, as soon as they started putting spindles on them, they should have ran a bigger drag chain so you could put the hoses in.
Right.
In the drag chain.
Right. And then
mine is all completely enclosed, which is
the company I bought it off of because they're 3D printing everything. You can choose any color, any variety, any combo color. I didn't want all kind of crazy colors, but you can if you want to go. Some people can go crazy with LEDs and stuff on their CNC.
Yeah,
But
that's a bit much, but
you haven't seen the LEDs on Clax?
yeah.
All his under table and the top. So
Yeah,
looks like
why?
a Mexican's truck. You know, he's like he got excited. A '90s Mexican truck with all the lights that they could find that they sold.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
probably got air suspension in
You can
his
see it from
CNC, so he
space as
can
it lights
bounce
it
it
up.
up and down too.
I think at first what he was doing was turning it on, so when he was on the lives, it was in his background and it just kind of looked cool.
Yeah.
In the background. But I haven't seen it on.
Yeah, I mean, if I had more time, I might do crazy things like that, but
had some strobes up to it and everything.
It's mostly fundamental things for me, like base completion of something is my goal.
So Big Sarge said yes, chambers need to be heated before favors little. No feed restrictions like feeding through normal external ports. Doesn't provide using X2D left nozzle.
Yeah, so I guess he's going right into the top of the hot end with the extruder with the.
Yeah, so I would almost wonder like something like that, as we were talking about earlier, the Sunlu external AMS heater that could be used as a feeder if that 3D printer he has is not enclosed, or that 3D printer doesn't have a.
Yeah, the problem is some of these filaments just don't run down the tube very well.
Yeah, well, see that Sunlu doesn't have much of a tube. It's literally like the roll.
No, I know, but in this case, you've literally got a spool on top of the printer, running straight down into the extruder.
I see.
So with no tubing at all, no.
Yeah.
Teflon tubing.
Yeah.
Like some people do that with TPU. I don't have to on mine. It seems to pull TPU pretty well, but yeah, it's sometimes you just need the shortest path.
Santa's living great and said, I'm glad I'm pulling in driveway, can't protection drive. I like kids apparently. He's not allowed to run them over. I say he's not allowed to run them over so people don't think he meant that in a wrongful way.
Yeah, he's already in his driveway texting.
Yeah. Big Sarge, you want to take this one?
Big Sarge says integrates bamboo A1 retracting spool holder to pull the slack. Yeah, okay. No extruder jams. Yeah, the A1 maybe not the best choice for that, but I mean, if it works, if you got it working, it's great. Radu says TSA. I like FreeCAD more than Onshape. Yeah, I mean, I went through as my Fusion 360 license was looming for renewal. I spent a week learning FreeCAD, and it's definitely getting better. But it's like I just so hardcore Fusion 360 now. They've trapped me.
What's the difference between the Fusion 360 free version? Isn't there?
Yeah, there's a free version of it. The free version only does the basic 3D CAD stuff. So you can't do stress analysis or there's no post processor, so you could feed directly into a CNC, like no cam section. There's also, what else? There's a few of the more advanced features that are missing.
Central said Onshape can't work with SVGs. It doesn't have a good built-in text tool. It also can't project a sketch onto curved surface unless it's cylinder.
So. So for what it's worth, I hate the way Fusion 360 handles text too, but and it doesn't really handle SVGs all that well either. But it's, I've conquered it, we'll say, and I'm sure somebody using Onshape can conquer it as well. Although Zentero says pretty affirm here that it can't work with SVGs.
You want to take this one?
Chris says tramming tools are like vernier calipers. There is okay and there is precision. Yeah, I can settle for okay.
All right. So Chris said flags should be flown next to each other, not one above each other. Exactly why I said that, Chris, because that having one flagpole and having an American flag first and then having a Mexican flag under it or a Canadian flag under it, I think I would just cause more drama than I was trying to be good. Now, if I could find a flag that was half Mexican side and half Canadian flag, and I flew that on the American flag, that may be more like I was being purposeful. But anytime I've seen those flags, they look like crap. They look like a sublimation, homemade. It didn't look like, good quality. And I'm not going to fly a generic flag.
Just put up another flagpole.
Dude, flagpoles are expensive, man.
It's not my problem.
I think my flagpole's over 100 feet tall. That's for sure. It's huge.
100 feet tall, so it's a lightning rod then.
It's huge. It's like something you'd see at probably like a grade school. I didn't put it in. It was here since I bought the house. Like a big, giant, huge one you'd see in front of a high school or school. Yeah. One of those, like a big, giant one.
And do you go out there every night and take the flag down and fold it up?
Got lights and stuff. Yeah. That's
why I don't have a flagpole. It's too much work.
Big Sarge says, actually, after the first line, there is 147 character limit. So thoughts have gotten broken up. Sorry for the fractured conversation. It's my pump and brakes. No problem, brother. No problem. He figured out the max characters on the comments, so that's pretty wild.
I'm astonished that it's 147, not
I'm astonished that you realized
256 or some normal number.
Yeah.
Let's pick a prime number and use that.
Maybe he was doing Texas speech.
Yeah, maybe.
I have a weird kind of Chicago, Jersey accent, I guess. And sometimes, no matter what I say, it doesn't understand me. Chris said they don't usually supply a dust boot unless the model comes with a spindle due to different size spindles. Agreed.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing was like, how was it collecting it? And how was it sitting? Like the one that goes kind of straight down in front. I ended up going with where it collects it on the backside and the tube comes up. It was just.
I designed one it's front mounted, but it's got like magnetic couple, so you can pull it off really easily and put it back on. However, if I ever want to record video while it's on there, forget it. Because you got that gigantic hose stuck in front, and
that's why I went with the back, because you could get the the GoPro type attachment. And
I do what every other YouTuber does when they record CNC. You just take it off completely and let the dust fly where it goes.
and you're absolutely right. That's for the most part what everyone does, dude. At least that I've seen. Sorry, dyslexic moment. Download Yard Junkyard Adventure. So cheers from Nebraska. Question: I really dread CO2 laser alignments. Talk to Nancy, especially a dual head CO2. Is there any other laser gadget that can use to assist in this nightmare?
I really dread CO2 laser alignment.
Tape.
So no is the answer. However, if you look at some of the newer generation of CO2s, you don't ever really have to align them.
So did you move something or did it come misaligned?
Well, no. So if you look at like the X2O P2S, unless it gets the crap banged out of it when they're shipping it to you, that thing will come aligned and you'll never have to touch it. The IKEA Master, it has a very similar, like they actually have the first mirror mounted to the end of the tube. So there's no way that's coming. That's going to be in the wrong place. And the whole mount, it like when you put the tube in, it's mounted in the right orientation. So, so you don't really have to mess around with some of the newer CO2s as far as alignment goes. It's, CO2 alignment, it will scare the crap out of you the first time you have to do it because you're looking at it going, I'll never get this laser working again. But you do it a few times and it takes 5 minutes. First time it'll take you probably 2 days.
So
because you can't actually get the laser running again.
I would say my advice is to you, whatever laser it is, go to a Facebook group and find someone's post pictures who's done it. And there's like, and stop trying to adjust everything at once. You're adjusting this, adjusting that. Just you don't know what you did wrong and did right. Start one direction and work your way back.
Well, yes, CO2s in particular typically have 3 mirrors, right? There's the one off the tube, the one in the middle, and the one on the down to the lens. And if you align them one at a time, like at both ends, right? You have to go both ends of the travel. And so the one off the laser, it is what it is, as long as you can get it close. But when you push the gantry forward towards the tube as much as you can, you take a test shot there, then pull it back and take a test shot. You'll see if the 2 spots line up. And if they don't, you can usually tweak it. It's not going to move much at the front, but it'll move a lot out at the far extreme. And then you do the same thing with
and I assume you know what he means by using the masking tape so you see the hole, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I actually printed some little targets on cardstock, and all of my mounts had a little slide. You could slide those things in front of the hole for the mirror.
Cool.
The only hard part is if the beam coming down through the lens is off center, the lens will diffract the beam and it'll come out at an angle. The trick is to move the entire beam in and out relative to the mirror that's over by the lens. That's the only tricky part. And you can, if you adjust both screws on mirror 2, which is the center one, by the same amount, you can move the mirror forward or back and get it going through the center of the lens. But that's the only hard part I've ever had. But once
less
you
is more.
it's there forever.
Do very small movements at a time. Not a lot.
Yeah, like you can do, I wouldn't do more than a half a turn. Right. Depending on like a quarter turn is probably a good place to start.
And just keep going. And my mom poured CO2 laser came with so much hot glue, it would have to be almost intentional that I knocked it off. But then Nancy, one of our subscribers, she got a mom port, and 6-8 months after just couldn't figure it out, she sold it, right? And got a different one, which was sad because there's nothing wrong with it. Like the printer was, the laser is still working, just need to be aligned. But a lot of times also what makes me kind of question is a lot of these YouTubers, they're doing these laser videos and they're saying right off the bat that should people align them, and people start attempting to align them with the assumption it needed to be aligned, and all of a sudden it's misaligned. Then maybe it would have worked okay right out of the box.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, like I said, the first time you do it, it's going to terrify you that you're going to get it out of alignment and never get it back in. But it's just one of those things. You just, you get a big pot of coffee and you start aligning, right? And you do one mirror at a time.
Yeah. So Jack and Shot's the best thing is
the mirror coming off the laser. Your whole goal is when mirror 2 is at closest to you, at the closest at its farthest extension, is to get that mirror 1, the beam off the mirror 1 passing through the center of the hole. That's it, right? And that's really not that hard. But then you do mirror 2, same thing, right? You get it going through the hole on the mirror down to the lens. And it's tough the first time, but once you get through it a couple times, you go, that's not so bad.
Yeah. So we're right at time, guys. So I'll try to catch up here in these comments before we drop. Jack in the Shop said, best thing is a beam combiner that shoots a red dot down the same path as the CO2.
Yeah, and most CO2 lasers have those built in. But you also have to align that beam because it's going down the same path as the. But if it's on, you can get a good attempt at getting it close the first time.
Chris said Tinkercad exceeds my ability to laugh out loud. I think he's saying that because Tinkercad was made for kids originally, so I think he's just being a little sarcastic.
Yeah. but it is easy to use. There's no question.
Jack in the shop said, I have Cam.
Cam in the free version. Yeah, there's some things in Cam you won't have, though.
Big Sard says, no, not my A1 using X2D, but my AM1 AMS retract spools on the other external spool. Otherwise, filament is in the tube. So pretty much what you just said, Steve, when I was asking why he wasn't using the some type of AMS, he's basically direct feed for the slack. Exactly what you said.
Yeah, you're trying to keep it out of the tube to avoid drag, right?
Right.
So you go direct.
So you hit that right on the head. Santa's Living Grade said, note to self, when I do my first CNC video, that dust collector comes off.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to be a pro YouTuber for CNC reviews, you got to take that dust collector off.
And then he said, then refer to Rick's videos. Look at this guy. Chris said, so far I have not had a realign my mirrors on my CO2, and I probably most complicated multitask lasers I need to.
And again, that it depends on the laser, right? Like if it's an X tool, P2S or P2, P3, you're never going to have to realign that thing.
All right, so we're 5 minutes after, guys. Today actually went really fast. Appreciate everyone joining the live. Thank you for the inputs on some upcoming events that we can share on future podcasts. Definitely keep those in mind. I think they were all great ideas. Steve, you want to close out?
No, it was fun.
Yeah.
Good to be back after my holiday. My 1 day holiday.
All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining. And post in the Facebook group.
Take care all.
Bye.
Bye.